in terms of what's next for DoubleBlind, you're building a media company, you have a print magazine, you have an e-commerce element, you have online courses, for example, how to grow mushrooms. You have events, I believe, as well. What's the next year or two look like for DoubleBlind, and what are you most excited about?
Like I said, I'm a journalist at my heart, so I'm just most excited about following stories that really kindle my spirit and also will speak to other people and inspire them, from science to policy to religion to ecology, whatever. And as far as DoubleBlind goes, like that is like the container for doing that. And so many amazing people and creatives are coming to us wanting to work with us. And so we're going to continue to do the print magazine. We have these online courses. We're just going to continue on that path. We have how to grow your own mushroom course, and we have a psychedelics 101 course, how to trip with intention and for personal growth. We're going to do mushrooms 102. So like deeper tips for all the mycophile nerds out there. And pre-COVID, we had this whole lineup of events. Now we're doing things online. We had a webinar with James Fadiman about microdosing. We had Alex Gray do a webinar with us this past weekend. We're actually going to be doing something with Paul Stamets in a couple of weeks. And so we're going to keep bringing people to our audience and doing fun things like that. And so what does it look like? Hopefully, we're just going to get to a place where we can continue to offer all of our content, scale a little bit, go deeper in the stories. We're building out our video section. Maybe we'll have a podcast one day. We'll hold events and continue to also just collaborate with other like-minded, curious people. We have a column now with Rolling Stone. There's a lot in the works. But I think one of the main things personally I'll say is this is a quote startup. Part of it is like, how can me and my co-founder Shelby, how can we run a startup while also prioritizing our own wellness and growth and personal journeys? And I think that's something that a lot of people maybe don't ask themselves when they get caught up in like the whole whirlwind of the American work culture. And being a psychedelic magazine, I think that's front and center, is like, how can I really engage my whole self and integrate that into what I'm doing? And so it's a personal journey too for both me and my co-founder, and a spiritual journey and all of that. I hate to use the rhetoric of journey, and I always make fun of the hippies in my life. I am one of them too, but I grew up in such a like overly hippie context that I get very sensitive to people using hippie rhetoric and hippies and all of that. But yeah, just stabilizing with it. It's been really fun and it's been really hard, and I want to have good mental health while I do this.
And how do you do that practically then? Do you have a regimen in terms either daily, weekly, yearly to make sure that you're either doing meditation, yoga, psychedelics? How do you think about that?
Shelby, my co-founder, has a really good meditation practice. My practice is Shabbat. Like I fully unplug. So I don't do work. I don't check my email. I don't do social media. And it's for 25 hours at least. And I think also like one thing that I'm really practicing right now is my relationship to time and like ownership of time. And with psychedelics, our perception of time changes. Like time sometimes doesn't exist on psychedelics, or it goes by so super slowly or whatever. And so I think there's a way to see time differently and also lean into a sense of spaciousness that doesn't necessarily exist, or that is not necessarily focused upon in traditional startup circles. And I say this having lived in New York and being fully immersed in like the hustle and never having a free moment and having like your calendar booked for 3 weeks out. Look, it's a practice, and I'm not saying I'm perfect at it. And I have all my own sort of anxieties and Jewish neuroses and this and that. And I think part of the work of learning about this and reporting on it and talking to people is like, oh, okay, now how can I apply this to my life?